Everyone's in the house.
Everyone's in the house. It's Friday night. The doors are open. The Skeptical Help Bar is ready to go. Woo! I'm charged up. Charged up. Woo! I'm excited. So much is going on. We got a guest tonight who talks so much more than I do. So I don't have to do much work tonight, which is great. Donna's back in the house.
Hi, guys.
That's right. And we got CSIcon coming up in 10 days or something like that. Ridiculous amount of short time. Holy crap. Whew, I'm excited. And we got so much stuff, so much going on in the Center for Inquiry where we're packing stuff up. We just, Tim Binga, our librarian, who is an awesome guy, just got everything all packed up. We helped a little bit, just a tiny bit, but he did most of the work. Everything's packed up, ready to go. And we're all charged up and we're planning things. And I can't wait.
And happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Thanks, Kat.
What?
Mac.
What?
Kat reminded us.
Kat reminded us. I want to say hi to Carolyn and Susan Gerbic's in the house. Times 2. Shauna is here. Janice. Bob. Damn it, Bob. Daniel Reed's here. Diane. Jade Kitten's here. Kat. Am I missing anyone? I hope not. Hello to everyone. And tonight we have a guest, but let me get through the rules. Because we need rules. We absolutely need rules.
Adrian Hill.
What? Adrian Hill's in the house too. That's nice. All right. Rule number 1. You are welcome to ask questions. That's what this show is about. It's a learning show. We talk to guests, or you just listen to me talk sometimes, but you can ask questions along the way. Rule number 2 is that I don't know everything. My guests don't know everything. We know some things. Sometimes we know a lot more than just some things. Sometimes we know a lot less than some things. I mean, depending on the topic. What? But we can learn together. That's where I'm going with. We have Google, the power of Google, now powered by AI, because now that comes up on my thing.
Does
now
it really?
too. Yeah, it does.
It comes up.
It's like beta testing for AI, and it comes up with a different screen and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty cool. Rule number 3 is that we follow the Patrick Swayze rule here, which means in the chat room, you are welcome to debate things, discuss things. You can disagree. You don't have to like everything that everyone says. I swear, I really haven't started drinking yet.
Yeah. I don't understand the problem.
Just don't devolve into name calling and just being an asshole. Don't be an asshole. All right, that's that. Donna's making an appearance. Look at that. She's grabbing my Cheez-Its.
Bob mentioned them.
Oh, damn it. Rule number 4 is that if you do have a question, please put a Q in front of it, capital Q. That way Donna can save it for later. For the second hour, because we do questions on the second hour. And then rule number 5 is my favorite one: drink up.
It's only water tonight for me.
And this is really fitting because this is a Vegas cup.
It is a Vegas
That's
cup.
where CSIcon is, Las Vegas, Nevada. So this is where we started getting them, all the colors. We got orange and red and blue and green and pink.
Yeah.
And we had a clear one, but I don't know where that went.
I haven't seen that one in a
all right.
long time. Let
me switch to my special guest. And bring on Susan Gerbic. Hello.
Oh, hey.
That was perfect.
I was just hanging out here with, to watch you like I do on most Friday nights, and I forgot that you're going to talk to me.
You were actually part of the show.
I'm eating Tootsie Rolls, so I don't know. I'm kind of.
Redman said she stole your Scooby snacks.
She did. They're Cheez-Its. I mean, they're not real Scooby snacks.
I'm not going to eat Cheez-Its. I've got Tootsie Rolls. Tootsie Rolls are fine. That's all I need.
I don't like Tootsie Rolls so much. I mean, they're okay once in a while, but
I get them caught in my teeth. So well,
it's milk.
We're amongst friends here. I see so many wonderful names and coming up here. No Milk Duds right now. I'm on Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah. Okay.
Why Milk Duds?
Milk Duds? Milk Duds are a multi-purpose
they're perfect food.
Snack.
That and pizza.
Like Milk Duds just have that milk chocolate coating around
the goodness.
The caramel kind of center thing. But they also act as amazing projectiles when you're in the movie theater and someone is talking.
You're the weirdest thing.
I mean,
Wow.
it's so awesome. It's like someone's talking and you're like, well, you know what? Whew, hit them in the back of the head. That hurts.
It says
That
dip
hurts.
them in peanut butter.
Ooh, I
You
haven't
guys
tried
are so mean. I am not going anywhere with you again. It's the meanest thing.
Bob. Tonight's show is sponsored by Cheez-Its and Tootsie Rolls. That's right.
As one does. So
Yes.
what are we going to talk about tonight? Is there anything we could
So,
possibly? I mean, I never know what to talk about, but
I mean, honestly, I think I would put $20 down that I could walk away and you would just start talking.
oh yeah,
I
no
think
problem.
so because
Go
you,
away.
you
Go,
can
go.
talk. I told you.
Just bring me Donna, and we'll just hang out. We'll talk, and we'll catch up.
One of these days, I might let Donna take over. I don't know. Just sit here, maybe we'll see. Maybe
we'll let her. That's fine. So she knows what she's doing. That's fine. So
She
yeah,
took over
I got lots of stuff to talk about. If anybody wants to talk about stuff, so
well, there you
what
go.
order do you want to talk about it in?
This is kind of like we have some ideas, but it's almost like the ride along that I told you about before the show, and people that are watching have seen that. I've had people just sit in, like Ben Radford, Daniel Reed. People have just sat in and answered questions with me.
Well, Carolyn wants to talk about the ghost walk.
We can do that. Thanks for explaining.
That was so much fun. It really was, except that it was so hot. It was Washington and Oregon. Why was it like 1,000 degrees?
It was hot. And the point of your article, so you put out an article, you talked about us going on these ghost walks.
Okay, well, I put out articles because I have photos that I really want to share, and I just write articles around photos, and that's what I do. I take pictures of something like a museum or a garden or a flower or whatever, and I say, I love these photos. I need to find a place to put them, so I upload them to Wikimedia Commons, and then I rewrite the Wikipedia page. It's just something about wanting to share the photos. So it's all about the photos. That's what it is. So if I can't take pictures, I ain't going. So the point of that article was to show off those awesome photos. Anyway, the point is it was really hot. And the thing about it is that I went there, and it was you and Eric. Eric's
behind the wall.
Yeah. Right behind the wall.
Eric's getting famous. I love it.
And my son lives up there.
Yes.
In Seattle. So I said, I'm going to drive up. And I drove up. It's like 13 hours. I had to stop, get a hotel, drive up the next day. It's really a long drive. So I go up to Seattle, hang out with my son for a while. Then he has to go back to work. And then I'm there with you guys, you and Eric behind the wall. And the goal was to really spend a lot of quality time with the Seattle skeptics and just kind of get them all comfortable. And I was driving you around. So, I knew.
You were not. You were like, I was just driving you around. You were not. You were like right in there. You were in the trenches
Except that day that you're walking around the graveyard, I just sat in the car because I was not getting out of the graveyard and going out into the graveyard while you and Atten and Eric behind the wall went and hung out at the graveyard. It was the daytime. It was cool. No, it wasn't cool. It was hot. So I stayed in my air-conditioned car.
That's why you stayed in the car.
Guys, and I just hung out. It was great.
I would have done the same thing, Susan.
You would have been right there with me, Donna. You and
right
I
in
would
the
have been
car
there
with the air on.
But we got a nice personal tour, though. We got a really good tour.
He was Atten, who I'd heard on this exact show, like the day before, he was just so generous and amazing. And so I put together the article that hopefully some people have read. Yeah, Wikipedia Commons. And I'll talk about it in a minute, Bob. Oh, I gotta wait till Donna does. I'm sorry.
Stop looking at the comments. You're jumping ahead.
I can throw them up if you want.
No, it's okay. I should finish this. I should finish the thought I had. So we wanted to go and I knew whenever we were trying to plan, because I'm the ambassador, whatever that is, for CFI, that one of the first places you should go is to the Pacific Northwest, because Oregon kicks ass. Let me tell you, they are a top-notch skeptic group out there. They know what they're doing. It's run by Janine Denoma, who says she's not running anything, but she could just do anything. And so, as you well know, now that you know, but it's just a phenomenon out there in that Pacific Northwest. It's because they had the Skeptic Toolbox out there for years, which is where I got started at the same time as Harriet Hall, by the way, in the same place. And we both were, it was a place where people would go. They'd have these small conferences over a long weekend, and we didn't really have the internet. So we would hang out. We'd spend all our time hanging out with Ray Hyman, Barry Beierstein, Wally Sampson, Jerry Andrus, Lauren Pancras, all those people. We just hung out for 4 days. Jim Underdown would show up. Barry Carr used to show up. The point is, that's the place to go. So I wanted you guys to go, and I wanted you guys to have a good time. I wanted everything to run efficiently, so that's why I showed up. And it was a good time. And a really good time, other than the heat. Yeah, it was.
Other than the heat, yeah. I mean, but it was a good, and it didn't help that the wildfires were going on.
Oh, I didn't mind that because I had to drive through it. I'm from California. We have wire.
Oh, yeah, you're used to it. Yeah,
that's normal. So we went out there, and we wanted to have my big thing, and Eric behind the wall, who's kind of my boss, is to organize. What we want to do is, it's a social thing, and this goes into CSICon. It's one thing to read the articles. It's another thing to look at the videos on YouTube. It's another thing to watch these, which is interactive. And I'm ignoring any questions, so I'm not even looking at them, you guys, if you're talking to me. I have 3 screens. You're on 3 screens right now: YouTube, Facebook, and then StreamYard.
Oh my goodness.
So I can see myself and like a 2-second delay out of the corner of my eyes. But the point is,
stop looking at that.
I'm not looking. I'm looking right at you.
Okay.
So the idea is to stop just doing a talk, and people come to the talk. We need to have socialization before the talk, after the talk, and even later, like dinners, lunches. It should be. We need to become more of a community. I mean, like if it was a church, right? If the skeptical community was a church, there's all, they have game nights, and they have events, and people, socialize outside of the church space, and then they have, these reading nights, and we need to do more of that. So we decided we'd do some ghost walks because we didn't know what else we would do.
Well, it tied in with the lectures, because we were going to do my lecture was about solving mysteries and different strategies, what to look for. So it was just natural to go into, hey, let's take a ghost tour, because you get a wide range of stories, and they usually have some kind of like evidence and I'm putting that in big air quotes, evidence to present, either pictures or maybe a video or audio recording that they'll show, or they tell you about, someone on the tour experienced the same thing. So it was a natural progression where we wanted to do a lecture, teach people like these methods, like this is how I do it. And that I made that clear. Like, this is not the way to do it. This is my way of doing it. And put those into practice. So once you learn about them, and I explain as best I can, and we have a Q&A, then the next night we go out to a tour, we listen to the stories. And then the third part is to find a local bar, sit down, at a couple tables, and discuss it. Like, what did we experience?
We did. And it was amazing, because as you said, after the Portland one, you're like, they took some of the things that I talked about in the lecture you'd done the night before, and used those same concepts in the ghost hunt we did. It was obvious they were listening, and they got it. And it was just, I would like to see it as a bonding experience with these people. You have an experience. It's one thing to go and watch a movie. It's another thing to sit and discuss it afterwards, or have some kind of action, some kind of thing. And we miss that in our community. I mean, COVID was that lockdown for 3 years. It just killed a lot of communities. There were groups that were dying out already. And then COVID came in, and not many succeeded. And so the Oregon Skeptics and the Seattle Skeptics, we just did the thing. People might not know this little secret. It's not really a secret, but you had Atten on, and I was in my hotel room up in Federal Way, which is south of Seattle. and you had him on Friday night. And I was really impressed with his presentation and what he did with his ghost hunts. And then I said, "Oh, I'd love to go on his next ghost hunt." And then you texted me, I guess, the next day and said, "Do you want to go? He's going to do a tour and you can go." Yeah. And I was in Seattle when I got that message, and I had my son with me, and I said, "You want to go? It's like in 5 hours." What else are we gonna do? He says, "No, I'm exhausted." So I had to come back to Federal Way, which is like 40 minutes. And then I changed my clothes, and then I went back to Seattle, which is another 40 minutes. And I went to his tour, and it was great. So I did the first ghost tour, me and whoever else was there, the people who were there. So it was no skeptics or anything. You and Eric behind the wall hadn't even shown up yet.
Yeah.
So I got 3 ghost hunts in 1 week, and it was great. It was other than the fact that it's hot.
Yeah.
And I can't say that enough. I am not into heat.
Or was it hot?
Not either, Susan.
Yeah.
I live in Salinas. I live in Salinas, California. This is like 65 degrees all year round here. Wow. We don't have weather. So having 90 something degree weather is just, what the hell? I mean, it is hell. Can I say the word hell on your show?
Oh, we've said much worse.
Yeah.
I don't say much worse. I was raised a good Christian girl, so I don't. Yeah. No, I really was.
I was raised a good Christian boy.
No, I really was. God was watching me. Jesus is watching me. You don't say bad words. We did. No. We say HE double toothpicks.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I'm looking for my buddy Christ. Oh, there he is.
Oh yeah, go away. I'll just talk. So
Oh, really? That's surprising.
The next thing that happened,
Jesus is watching you.
And he was. I was scared. I think that was terrifying. But what happened after the ghost walks? What happened? I can see you show me Jesus on the other screen here out of the corner of my eye.
Stop looking there.
You just showed it to me. I can't miss it. I've got 3 huge screens.
Minimize it.
No, I want to see me and you. There we are. And people might So what happened is,
right here.
Okay, so what happened, and maybe people caught on this afterwards, is Mark Edward, my long-term boyfriend, love of my life, he is a mentalist. And what we did is he had his first mentalism conference in years. And it was in Dallas, and it was a brand new mentalism conference. It's called, I'm wearing the shirt. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's cool.
So he said, we're going to go to this conference, and it's all seance, mentalism, all that cool stuff.
That'd be right up my alley.
So it was super hot. So we fly into Dallas. They pick us up at the airport. They take us to this hotel. And I don't think we left the hotel again because we were there for like 3 or 4 days. And it was a small conference, about 50 people, but it was on seance and mentalism. And they treated me just like anybody else. I mean, because I'm not a mentalist, I'm not a magician. So usually I'm not with it. They call it, they say,
right.
You're not supposed to reveal secrets, but they were like, no problem. You're with, my boyfriend is Mark Edward. And I know all the stuff that he knows I don't know all the stuff he knows, but I mean, if he does something,
be careful if he's watching.
I'm around
what you mean.
He's listening from the other room like, wait a minute.
No, you know what I mean? It's not like I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I might not always know how because he doesn't tell me, but I could see him putting things together and stuff like that. So they were just really cool with it. They had a magazine called Seance that had been out from 1988 to 1991. And Mark had written 4 articles for it. And I guess that was a really a powerful time. They put out all these articles on seance and mentalism, and then the publication ended. So what this conference was, is they were bringing together people who had published from that magazine. So while I was there, I found out a lot of these people do ghost hunts. So that's where it ties back to the article, is that they were mentalists creating their ghost hunts, and they're like getting ready for the season. And it's so much storytelling. And we talked to, I talked to a lot of them. I was just, you guys won't get this. I was just a shy kind of quiet person sitting in the corner at Mark's table because they don't know who I am. They don't know anything about me. I'm just Mark's girlfriend, right? So I'm just some person there's taking pictures every so often. They know nothing about what I do. They know nothing about the scientific skepticism stuff. Nothing. They're mentalists. They're into that. But they have their own professions. One's a lawyer, one's does this, and one does that, So I was just able to sit and observe and ask a lot of questions. And oh my gosh, they put so much work into these ghost hunts. Yeah. It's really interesting. I was really impressed. We're going to be going to one in Myrtle Beach in January. It's a bigger conference.
Are you talking ghost hunts or ghost tours?
Tours.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're not. None of these people do the EMF thingy.
Yeah,
well,
no.
They're all. You do a ghost tour, like a ghost walk, and then they have stories they tell, and and they just like what we did in Portland and in Seattle, except it's done by a mentalist, whereas what we saw were scripts. Somebody had written a script about something.
Yeah.
So
and that was a big thing. Like that was something that we found out on the first tour that we took together.
Yeah. Say what happened at the.
So there was at one point there was a theater, and they were telling the tour guide who, and again I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it because I don't think it was professional, but he had a very, very thin tank top on, and sure he didn't look like a tour guide. It was not a professional kind of look. It was a very just inappropriate tank top. I didn't want to look.
It was really hot. He looked like my cousin Vinny.
Yeah, and I mean,
old chains and lots of hair, on his
like all down from it looked like a faucet. It was really bad. He should at least wear a dark shirt. So it's not as. And I'm trying not to make fun of the guy personally, but it just was not a way.
It was very hot.
But yeah, he started telling a story, and he mentions that this hotel, it had a theater in it, and that some of the staff started a seance, and the manager came in. They found out that they were doing it, ran in, fired everyone on the spot, and then because they didn't close the seance, because I think they also had a Ouija board in there too, so they were doing all that. Because they didn't close it, it just let all the evil out in the hotel. And it was one of those things where the tour guide was like, well, of course, that means it let all the evil out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, of course, I don't know that. Let me ask you a question. If everyone was fired, how do we know like this actually happened? Like, are there newspaper accounts? Is there some kind of record? And the guy said, well, no, that's just in my script. Like he had no idea. And I get it. Like tour guides are usually like, they're just doing the tour. They're just reading off a script. And I know, because I did a tour in Cape May, New Jersey. I did a tour for a season
in the 80s,
way back. And I mean, 90s, I was given a script,
90s,
but at least for me, when I was given that script, I actually looked into all the stories. And I talked to the owners, and at the time I wanted to be a good tour, so I was adding bits of the story that the owners would tell me. But at least I knew, like, if somebody asked me a question about the place, I could say, like, oh yeah, there's a record, or no, there are no records. It's just coming from eyewitness testimony or something like that. But they tell me it was just from a script. But I mean, anyway, getting to, I guess, the overall point here is that all these tours, it's a social aspect, and it gets us out. And as skeptics, we're out there looking into these stories. We got to take these tours sometimes.
Yeah.
To see what they're telling people, because like I would never know that story about the hotel if I didn't take that tour. At least I don't think so. I bought a book for like Haunted Seattle. Yeah. I haven't read through it yet, so I don't know if it's in there or not. But you also get different information because when we did was it Portland tour, I think, where we had the better tour guide. Like
Oh yeah, she was dressed, and
she was dressed the part. She looked the part. She had a lot more information and was more into it.
There's a lot more woo-woo stuff in that one, though.
There was.
A lot. You had the little guide thing that was like beep 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 thing.
They gave me I rented a K2 meter, which was a waste of $7.
Star Trek.
A completely waste, and she didn't even bring it up until the end.
Yeah,
like we went through this 1.5-hour tour, and at no time did she bring it up until we were at the last spot, and she noticed that I was holding it, and it was lit up, and said something, and then she didn't like my answer.
I was impressed with how much about the quality of the people that attended that were not our group, and both of the tours. Actually, the third tour I took too. That they weren't into ghosts and stuff that much. It was a way of killing some time.
Yeah,
you
talk to someone.
They thought it was kind of fun. Yeah, that's another reason why I think we should go on these tours as skeptics.
Just to see who's taking them, and how much they believe in them. I mean, I take them because I want to know what's being said, because these are ghost tours. And just like you said there, people come into town, they have time to kill. It's a tourist trap kind of thing to do. So they take the tours. They listen.
Museums are closed at 5. And what are you going to do with the rest of your time? You have dinner and
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to take the tour, to listen to it, to hear it out. And if you can, record it. So you can research it later when it comes up. But even we were nice skeptics.
That was the other thing. How should we present ourselves? It's important to go to these mind, body, wallet festivals and stuff that Richard Saunders always talks about, because we need to know how to have conversations and meaningful, polite conversations.
Yes.
And this was an example of being able to do it in a small scale. How do you have those conversations? How do you push back without being rude and a jerk?
Yes. And that's the point, because if you come off as the, I guess, stereotypical skeptic that they think you might be, then they're not going to talk to you. They're going to shut you down or cut you off, and you're not going to get anywhere. So, I mean, I always try to promote that, to be nice. And
yes, you were very nice. You were really good. I was there. I was there to watch, to make sure, and you were exceptional. It was a lot of fun touring with you and Eric behind the wall. We really had a good time. I think so. And you sat in the back of the car and just were on your phone all the time. And Eric and I had long, meaningful conversations, and you were like, "What?"
We drove down to Portland. Because then
I actually for hours in some places.
You said something, and it was like, oh, I need to find this out. And I started looking up something. I had my laptop out, hooked to my phone, looking it up, and I was like, oh, I found this address. I found that address.
Yeah, he was in the back seat, you guys. He had the whole back seat to himself. I have
that was great.
Prius that had room, and they were just like, this is great. Let me sort around.
I want to disagree. You had a Prius. Yes, there was no room.
Plenty of room. What are you talking about?
You were like, I was.
Well, then Eric,
I had a lot of stuff out.
Seat up because I don't know what your problem was, because there was a seat beside you. There's nothing in it except your drinks. There's those things you drink. What are they called?
The monsters. Stuff. Yeah. Monster drinks. Yeah. Pound them. Oh.
Guys, that's weird.
I got to keep up with you.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I don't drink coffee or anything like that. So
I don't either. So, but I have Diet Dr. Pepper. That's about it. But yeah. Okay. So just to be clear, Atten's tour that he did was not the tour that we went to, that you and Eric went on.
Atten's tour was
totally different tour. I went on it by myself. And then he said, can you guys meet up with me at this graveyard? I want to show you some stuff. And we went, and that was in the day. And we went, and he had you and Eric walking all over that graveyard. Yeah. I'm like, I just kept driving the car watching you guys. I would drive, he had him walking all over the graveyard, and I would drive the car, park in the shade, And then when they moved to some other part of the graveyard, I just follow and park in the shade there. But the graveyard was set up so that if somebody came behind me in another car, I had to drive. So they couldn't get around me. So I was just driving the car around here and there and sitting in my car, my nice quiet car with my reading the New York Times.
I gotta say you were awesome, and you were a skeptical blessing to us.
Hey, you can rip me out. No, Daniel, he didn't make fun of any of my driving because I would have just pulled over and just been like,
kick him out.
I'd pull over and I would have hit the button that makes the doors go click. And then it would kick the hell out. No.
No.
Besides, he was in the back seat. He didn't know.
Hey,
he was.
I was in my own world
most of the time. Eric
I had
and
my earbuds in. I was working. I was doing.
It was a working vacation.
And Susan does not make her own turning lanes. And that's an inside joke. That's Daniel's fault. He decides he makes his own turning lanes when he drives. So that's why he's asking if I'm making fun of your driving. Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm an old driver. I've been driving for a long time, so I'm fine. I'm fine. But yeah, it was worth it. I'm out. If anybody else wants me to come out to their area and I can drive out there or rent a car, I will take care of everything. I will drive you around. Because Kenny and Eric behind the wall, they went to other people's houses. I stayed in a hotel. Yeah. So I had to go get them, pick them up, take them to drive wherever we're going. And then at the end of the day, take them back to whatever location they were at. They didn't stay at hotels.
You are definitely our chauffeur.
I was really the chauffeur. It really was. And it was fine. I enjoyed it. And when we got down to Janine's house, and I insisted you guys had to go to Janine's because Janine's house, Janine Denoma, this is for people who don't know Janine. She's been around a long time. She's the person who is I was talking about that runs the Oregon group. She doesn't really run the Oregon group. There's other people who run the Oregon group, but
she does the Oregonians for Science and Reason.
Oregonians for Science.
Yeah, and then we have the skeptical.
Jack does the CFI Portland.
CFI Brent.
Right.
Yeah.
But Janine is just a long established skeptic that she has a cabin in this place called Corvallis, and she's just phenomenal. She's just a gem, one of those people. And I'm always looking for more people like this. And I found a lot of them already in our community that just are that kind of person that you know, you can count on them, not just Adrian Hill, but you count on them and they just do.
Adrian got a quick shout out there.
Well, she does the podcast Skeptic Zone, and she's her column is called "You Can Count on Adrian," and you can count on Adrian. She's always coming.
I still think she should be like Mrs. Giggles.
Oh, she giggles. Carolyn is another one over there in Sacramento that is just another. Well, anyway, there's a lot of people in the community that are those kind of people you can count on. But Janine has this cabin, and her and her husband John, they're just so gracious. They just opened up to the skeptics there, and they have this big barbecue, and it's just a lovely spot on the side of a mountain, and you just look out over the fields, and then the other side of the house is just forest, and you can sit there. There are some bugs. You have to
a few wasps.
It's just a beautiful spot. I've been there. I think I've gone up almost every year for probably, except for 1 year. I think I did go during the pandemic. Just there was 1 year I didn't go in the pandemic, but I've been going up there, and you find reasons to go. Well, I was doing the Jerry Andrus project, so I had to go up there. But you go up and you just they're just so great, not just John, but the whole community, the Oregon Skeptics. They've just made me feel very much like part of their group. And we go out to lunch, we go out to dinner, it's a social. It feels like a community, and that's what that was you and Eric behind the wall to experience.
It was nice to, we did the lectures, we did the tours. We got a lot of people to come out for the events, and it was great. And then that barbecue at the end was great because it was more of a relaxed environment.
Right before you went home.
Yeah, we weren't on our game. We didn't have to worry about it because even we go to the lecture, there's a lot of talk. People are thinking. There's questions. A lot of thinking there. You go on the ghost tour. You're paying attention. You're absorbing the stories. You're absorbing the history. Then we kind of what is that? Debriefed afterwards. Went to the bars, debriefed, talked about it, got into some points, got really good, like deconstructing a lot of the stories and elements of the stories, which was great. But it's constantly on, and I love that. Don't get me wrong, I love that. But then at the end, it was nice that it was a skeptical social event where we all just got together and hung out.
And I'm just now remembering, I outdid you. I had more energy than you because we got back after that barbecue, and I took you guys to the hotel, and I stayed that hotel. You and Eric were in one room, and I was in the other room. And Eric and I went out, walked around, and got pizza, and you stayed because you were so tired. We wore you out.
Kenny was tired.
I outdid Kenny Biddle. I just want to put that out there.
Know about that.
You had to crash, and I and Eric went out and had a piece of pizza. And
I had to do lectures.
I
had to do Q&A.
I was driving and making sure everything was. I did everything in my power to make sure everything ran smoothly for you guys. All you did was sit in the back of the car. And
I did not.
We did lectures. You know, that's so easy.
I was working.
Right? Like he makes it sound like it's work.
Ran
like,
smoothly because I was there to make sure everything ran smoothly. Sorry. And I drove 13 hours to get there. You guys rode on a little plane.
I did. I love driving long drives like that. I don't know.
Well, coming back was very scary because it just went rain dumped on me.
I hate when it's
and there was a road closure, so I had to go up into the mountains and take some route I wasn't familiar with. It was very long, but I did it. I got home in 13 hours. When I left Corvallis, I just went home. I didn't stay the night. It was a very long drive, but I just put on books on tape, and
there you go.
You know,
we got books too. We did get books.
I took them to Powell's. Anybody know Powell's out there? And that was incredible because we only had a little bit of time. We found a parking spot, and I was like, "Okay, we got 2 hours."
That's it. We were across the street from it on the opposite corner, and that was it. It was like a SWAT team synchronizing the plan. It was like, "All right, we have 2 hours to get in."
And I had those bags, the grocery bags, the fabric grocery bags. I took them out of my car. I said, "Okay,
here we go.
Here's your fabric bag. Here's your fabric bag. Do not overfill them. The goal is to not overfill your bags. To keep it in one bag. You have 2 hours. Meet me back.
2 hours. We walked in. We got the map because you needed a map. That's how big this bookstore is. And we got that map, and it was like, all right, we're off. Boom. And once in a while, we saw each other. And I was like, "What'd you get? What'd you got? Oh, I got that. Oh, I found this." It was great.
I found some amazing things, and I know you did. Eric behind the wall bought a sweatshirt and a bunch of swag and stuff. I'm like, "What are you doing? Don't buy that. Buy books." He goes, "No, I like this."
All right.
Yeah, so, thank you, Jim, for putting the link in the chat so everybody.
Let's switch topics.
Oh,
okay. So I'll give you a choice. Do you want to talk about CSIcon, or do you want to talk about kidnapping and psychics?
What do you guys want to talk about?
I mean, we can do
one's
probably going to get us pissed off, and the other one's going to make us feel happy and joyful. So
we can do both. Can't we do both quickly?
Yeah, we can do both, but
do the bad one first. And
you want to do the bad one first?
Afterwards. Yeah.
All right, let's do the bad one first.
Well, it's bad, but it was good because you were there to be able to respond so quickly. Well, and Janice, who's here, I think right now, is the one who's gave me that video.
Okay. Well, it looks Janice, like so far.
Kidnapping first.
Janice, are you here? Give me a sign. She's done a bunch of psychic stuff with me. Her thing is facilitated communication, but because she started doing some of the psychic stuff with me, I think she keeps getting fed all these psychic stuff, and so she'll go, "Look at this, look at this." I'm like, "Janice, what the heck's going on with your feed?" Oh my gosh, you get more psychic stuff than I do.
All right, so set us up. What happened?
So I wake up in the morning in California, and there's this video in my in my inbox from Janice Boyton, and I open it up and I look at it and I go, oh my goodness gracious, what the heck? It was a morning news show. I think it was morning. It was in New York, Albany, New York, which is, as far as I'm concerned, in your back door. And it said, it was a video of this morning news, man. I tell you, it was, what was his name? Dan Levy.
Yeah.
Dan Levy. So this guy, who I don't know who he is, he's like, hey, that kidnapping the other day, the police were in contact with this psychic. Wow, can you believe it? And then they did like a 2-minute interview or a 1.5-minute interview with this psychic, no-name psychic that I've never heard of before. And she's going on about how she first knew she was a psychic and how she solves crimes and how all these things happen. And she helped with this kidnapping, and she can't talk about it because there are other, she just can't talk about it. So don't ask about it. And then the guy says, so Dan Levy, the TV reporter says, he says, oh, well, she tells me that the police often use psychics in solving crimes and murders. And then she ends with, some more of her nonsense and stuff. And then he says, oh, it's really bad because she told me she got hives because it was so stressful. And I'm going, my jaw is like, what the hell is this? It was 2 hours and 40 minutes. A promo for this woman who,
2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, I'm giving this to Kenny. Kenny.
That's what I got.
You're like, what the hell? Just like what I had with Janice giving it to me. And you tell your story.
So I'm up. I think I'm having breakfast.
You were having lunch.
I'm at lunch. Yeah. And my phone goes off.
We have to have this right because we can't be deviating.
Right. My phone goes off. And here it is. Oh my God. Send me a link. Call Kenny. Call them. Let's expose this hive-ridden grief vampire. This is in your backyard. Oh my God. I thought it was Florida, but it's Albany, New York. And I was like, first of all, Albany is 4.5 hours away.
I'm in Springs, California. That is, might as well be in your backyard. I mean,
it's not 13 hours.
Then I was coming back here from lunch, and I was like, well, I already have plans. I have to go somewhere. I have to check on some things that we purchased for the center. And I'm just going to drop off some stuff here. I'm going to go. But no, that didn't happen because you got me hooked into this. So I sat down in my pilot seat here and was like, oh, let me just look at this real quick, this video. Oh, okay. And then 3 hours later, boom, I'm on a video with you.
Saying, did you get a hold of them yet? What do they say? What did they say? What? Blah, 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 blah.
So there was a 9-year-old girl that was abducted on September 30th of this year. And she was in, it was Albany, New York. It was a lake park, a state park. And she was camping with her family, and she was riding around. There was a loop. So when you're in a park, you have a big loop and there's campsites all around. She's riding around with her friends. She decides to go for one more because her friends left. She went around one more and she disappeared. This is like 6:15 at night. So it was still daylight out, but she's gone. Parents start looking, other people joined in, and I mean, the positive on this, and there's more positive, don't worry. But the positive is that the entire campground came together. And they all started looking. Within a half hour, the state police were there. Park rangers were there. They did this massive search. The next morning, still no sign of her. They found her bike, which was just left on a path. So the next morning, the governor showed up. They had hundreds of state police. They had helicopters, drones, dogs, hounds, everything out looking for this child. And it came to October 2nd. So I'm going to tell you the main story. October 2nd at 4:20, which there's a joke there, but let's move past it, people. At 4:20 a.m. on October 2nd, someone showed up at the house, the family's house. Okay. Now, the state police had the house under surveillance because at this point, there was already an Amber Alert issued. They were working under the impression the child was abducted, not missing. So people had been coming by the house and dropping off groceries and food and anything that the family would need to just keep going because they were still out looking for their daughter. So this car pulls up at 4:20 in the morning and goes to the mailbox, puts something in the mailbox, and then drives away. Well, the trooper that was there noticed it, didn't stop him because didn't know what was going on, but checked the mailbox and found a ransom note in it. So immediately they called in forensic teams. They looked for evidence. They found a fingerprint on the note. So they ran it through the system. They got a hit. Because the guy that it belongs to, he had a 1999 DUI conviction. So his fingerprints were on record. So they got him. They also checked. They had experts for communications, which they were checking for cell phone pings, and they found out the guy was also in the area of the park at the same time. They staged, I think they called it a dynamic entry, which means they went in there full force because the FBI, the SWAT was involved. SWAT went in, busted in a trailer because the guy lived with his mother, and he was in this like trailer offshoot of the house or another trailer. Found the girl in a cupboard, alive, unhurt, but they found her. They recovered her, and she's home with her family. She is safe and sound. Great story. I mean, a horrible experience, but great ending.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the ending could have been way worse. Yeah.
Science prevailed in this. They had good forensic science, good detective work. They did everything right. And they found the girl. So October 6th or 7th, a few days later.
Well, Ben Bradford started talking about this case, which is where I heard about it, and maybe others did too. And he was saying, "Oh, look, another case where it was not solved by the psychic; it was solved by good police work." I remember hearing him talking about that several times. And
good police work.
Oh yeah, you're right. Another case where the police did their job and the community came together and did their job, and nothing to do with psychics. Nobody told them where she was or anything.
Right. No mention of psychics. All the reports that I've gone through. So I've went through like a ton of reports already, articles following it. CNN, New York Times, all of these. And nobody mentioned anything about that. But so a day ago, so yesterday this was.
Yesterday.
Holy crap.
I know.
So yesterday, there's a news segment come on. So this is the link that you sent me.
The one you and I talked yesterday, but I think that news clip was from
the day before,
Thursday or Wednesday.
So we're watching this, and this segment comes out, and this reporter is telling how sometimes police get information from other sources, and this time we know that the family and the police talk to a psychic, and starts going into and you mentioned like they spent about a minute and a half interviewing this psychic. And there is literally nothing said about the case.
Oh, she says about her childhood and how she says that she saw two cars. She used to look out the window. Remember this part? And she would see two cars and she would say, those two cars are going to crash and within 5 minutes, and 5 minutes later they would crash and there'd be an explosion. That's what she said. And and I thought, well, wait a minute. How long are these cars out in front of your window that 5 minutes later, usually cars go by and they boom, crash, but they don't explode? And she made it sound like it happened all the time. And I thought, what? They're just letting her ramble. That didn't make no sense at all. It was just a promo for her.
Right. And in that, her example alone demonstrates why alleged psychic powers are useless, because she claims to have a vision that these two cars that she saw were going to crash. And then 5 minutes later, they did. And she didn't do a fucking thing.
Nope.
Did not go out, did not stop it, did not try to help anything. Nope. Let it happen. So complete waste of a superpower.
Let's get back to the story.
Oh, well, that is the story.
I'm sorry. Are we interrupting your show?
Oh,
No,
sorry,
yeah. I lost track. Like, I hate when you go on too many
You were playing on your phone.
No, I'm not. My phone's up here.
You were just down like this.
I'm listening.
Hey.
Sorry.
Leave her alone.
So
she is
the reporter
jewel
makes it.
in our community. Do not mess with Donna Biddle.
Thank you, Susan.
The reporter makes it sound like he says that he reached out to police and they told him that sometimes they do reach out to here's the quote that you love.
They communicate with psychics sometimes.
Yeah, and he says state police tell me it's not unusual to consult with psychics or soothsayers or anyone else who provides tips or useful information during the course of an investigation. So, and the example I gave you was like, I can read that same quote and say, it's not unusual to consult with psychics or plumbers or mechanics or dentists or anything like that, because it doesn't matter. If the tip comes in, the police have to respond. They have to look at it. They have to look into
time, wasting resources.
So yeah, it doesn't matter who it comes from, and saying their occupation is irrelevant. It really is when it comes down to this. But he made it sound like the psychic, because the title of it says psychic helps police / family with kidnapping.
Yeah, it said that she was in contact with the family too. That really bothers me.
She was in contact with the family and police.
And police.
Yes. Which means if you
leave those family members alone.
If you call in with a tip, you're in contact with the police.
Right.
That's what that means.
Leaving a message or something, yeah.
The point that we're getting at is that at Susan's urging, like, do it. Have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? Are you done?
I wanted it done. I wanted it down. Hey, don't work for me. Don't work for me in the GSoW project if you can't handle a little bit of pushing.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't mind.
No, but I'm just throwing that out to all those people out there listening. Says, I want to join her GSoW project. Well, you might get a little pushing because I want it done. It needs to be done now.
I'm used to it, but I have
done it done.
So shut up. I called the New York State Police. Called and I talked to a very nice trooper, Stephanie O'Neill. She is the public information officer. I spoke with her. She was really nice. And I asked her about the case. I told her who I was, where I'm calling from, and that I'm trying to look into it and verify this. And when I mentioned I saw it on the news, she knew exactly who I was talking about. She's like, oh, that's a Dan Levy story. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And I was like, oh, okay. So what can you tell me? And at first she gave me the very professional and diplomatic thing about how every tip came in, they have to investigate, which is good. I understand that. And it doesn't matter who it came from. They have to follow it up. And that's a point that I try to stress all the time, because sometimes people don't believe you, but they have to look into everyone. Right. So that said, I asked directly, did this person give information that helped the investigation? And her response was, the information from that particular person did not help the investigation. So, confirmation, the psychic had nothing to do with this. And this little 2.5 minute fluff piece was nothing but pure bullshit.
Yeah, it's just a promotion for her.
Yeah. And it angers me. And I mean, I know viewers, people who watch this know that I get pretty pissed off about this. And I know you do too. This is just, it's complete bullshit when you promote somebody that is actively lying to the public and can have an influence on other families. I mean, this is a child that was kidnapped and was gone from her family for 2 days. This is a horrible experience. And this psychic, and by extension, this reporter, is exploiting that.
Yes. For
their own gain.
That news station, the whole news station is accountable. That's what I say. It was horrible. It was the news station agreed to put this on. They could have told Dan Levy, sorry, but we're not going to put a infomercial on for this psychic. Did you check this out? And he says apparently he did, right? He called the trooper and they said
in the report he says he reached out. So I did the same thing, but I got a different answer. I don't know who the hell he talked to, but it wasn't someone that gave him. Honestly, and this is pure speculation, I think he got an answer he didn't like, and he was trying to pimp out a story.
He probably interviewed her first and then decided, I did all this work. I'm on deadline. Like Bob just said something about, I wonder if the psychic had some connection with the Dan Levy. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, see there. Oh, I am psychic. That appeared after I said the question.
Maybe.
Bob and I are connecting. We're just
they're connected. Yeah.
He typed it out and I heard the question. I heard it.
It's just it annoys me when I see this, and it's irresponsible. It's unprofessional. It's borderline unethical to put something
beyond unethical, because those parents aren't. I mean, those parents are being manipulated. Of course, they're vulnerable. They'll say or do anything they possibly can to get their child back. But what this does is it sets up this feeling that psychics do solve crimes, and so that in the future, people will be more likely to say, oh, well, in this situation, I should go and have a medium deal with this problem I'm having. It normalizes mediumship as a problem solving thing. And it gets down to it. It was really just the verbiage of what the man said and what the medium said. And when you think about what they're saying, they weren't saying anything. It was just kind of playing with the words. And I really know this because I went after you and I had talked, I went onto the Facebook page for the news channel and they put the video up, and the comments underneath it were they were split. Some of the comments were, oh, she's amazing, or this other psychic's amazing, you should check them out. And the other part was just plain wrong. They were skeptics or skeptical of her, but the things they were saying were not really what was in the
news segment.
Yeah, because they were saying things like the police shouldn't waste time and money on this. They shouldn't be going to a psychic. They shouldn't be doing this. But really, the police didn't go to her. So the police didn't do anything wrong. It was the news segment that made it sound like they had gone to her. They never called up a psychic, but the people who are commenting in that Facebook post just assumed it because of the headline was kind of written that way. And the other thing, I didn't mention this to you, Kenny, but I was thinking about this when we're watching that video. It had all this news footage of policemen wandering around searching for her, troopers, and that's just stock footage. It wasn't like the psychic. It kind of gave you the feeling that the psychic was actively walking around with the troopers or something, but that's just footage of
it's background
police officers or troopers wandering around searching for something or talking, or it was just B-roll. It wasn't. I don't know. It
was
the newsreel manipulated people to think that the psychic had been contacted by the police and that had given information.
Right.
And so even the skeptics who saw that video, I assume they saw the video, they got it wrong. It was you and I think were the only ones that I saw that had any real, I don't know, meat on it.
To be fair, like most people don't look at this stuff like we do. I watched this damn video like 10, 20 times over and over. I recorded it so I have it on my own, just in case it disappears. So you look at it and you listen to the verbiage over and over and go, they're not actually saying anything. Right. They're not actually saying. They're twisting the words, and they're using subtle cues to make you think that the psychic help, but in actuality, they're not saying anything about it.
Right. There was no substance to it. And I was thinking in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, you helped? Let's go down to the police department, and
Right.
let's sit down and let's go through the cold case files, and you can help solve some more. Let's just go one after another. Let's just knock them out, lady. Let's go to the missing childhood database, which is what, 10,000 a year or something like that. Let's go through it one at a time. You got some kind of special power you're helping? Let's go one after the other, and let's knock them out. But people don't consider that at all. The burden of proof, the standard is so low for the general public that they really do think that, oh, just get a reading from them. I'm sure they'll validate something and you'll understand. It's like, I can't grasp it.
I mean, I'm looking at some reports, and there's a report of how many missing children are there lately. And the numbers say 2023, there are already a total of 8,545 missing children in the United States. I mean, that alone, there's your job. Like, if you can talk to,
take care of it,
make predictions, then save the kids, save these kids, get them home.
No, but they're going to talk about somebody's garden and grandma wearing a hat and dad's showing up with the aftershave and his name starts with an H or something. That they can do. But this other stuff, nobody does it. And every time I challenge somebody and say, name one case where a psychic has helped, and they go away, they disappear. And that's the thing, is all these stories, they come out in the media, nobody follows up, or if they follow up, it's on page 20, and nobody hears about it again.
People like us that spend the time, spend our free time sometimes in going through it. Yeah, Red Man.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Red Man. Absolutely.
It's a fluff piece. And I was like, well, it's October. And I'm like, wow, are they using this as like a psychic?
I was wondering about that. If they would say, oh, well, it's all fun and games because it's October and it's just Halloween. I had a feeling they were going to do that. And you know what else is? I looked again on her Facebook page, and I sent you a link to this, and I was going through it and looking, and here's what's going on, is she's got a psychic event coming up, and she's like, it's sold out. And she says, we're trying to get a bigger venue and we're adding more seats because we're sold out. Why is it sold out? Because she just got a 2-minute, 40-second infomercial.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad because you and I can do all this work, and you did a lot of the work because you got that title. I mean, you got to use it. I mean, if I called him up, I would just be like, Mama Bear, let's talk. Hey, I want to know, I would have been a kind of, I don't know if I'd been super polite, but you have a title and you can do this. I can just be like, I'm an investigative reporter and I want to know. You better tell me. I wouldn't have been.
It is nice having a title when you call, like,
oh yeah, and they should be established. They should be calling you. They should say, there's a psychic who says she had helped out in this kidnapping case. Oh, who should we call? Oh, let's call Kenny Biddle. That's what should be happening. And so you got to get your name into all these people's minds so that
I'm
when
getting
there's something, they say, call Kenny Biddle. Call him right now.
I've called so many police departments in the last month because of a certain list of 20 mysteries that psychics solved. I've called police departments in Ireland, which was fascinating. But I think I called 6 just off of that, just trying to talk to detectives and getting information. And when you get the information, you realize, okay, they didn't help. The psychics didn't help. It was detective work. It was good detective work, good police work that did it.
Or coincidence or chance or something where they just happen to find something. And we get a quarter of a tiny percent of 1% of the views. And then they get astronomical events of magnitudes of content. It's frustrating. Obviously we do this because we think it's important, but
yeah. All right, we're gonna take a break. It's
you need a break. I'm sorry. Are you
whatever?
Are you worn out? Oh,
no, it's our pee break.
You gotta go putty.
Yeah,
I'll just sit here and talk.
Susan is muted. All right, we're going to take our commercial break. How about that? And you were in the commercial too. So keep look. Don't tell me you're not in there because you are. Anyway, so we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come back. I think maybe touch on CSIcon a little bit.
We should do questions and then touch on CSIcon.
Oh, okay.
Well, the questions are from a while back.
All right. So we'll do our break and we'll be back in 4 minutes. From right delay, try to find it right now. Hey.
Oh, you're back.
I am back.
Oh, that's nice to know that you had. Yeah.
I drank another Monster drink. I'm good to go.
I had Pop-Tarts for dinner. So, and a big glass. So
For
I'm all-
dinner.
I'm like,
But did you toast them?
yeah, oh yeah.
I eat them cold sometimes. That's
Oh,
why.
I can do that too. But I had a toast handy. I had something that Bob, who's picking up his daughter right now, he did a little research. Did you see that? The
Bob
psychic that
always
we
does
had.
research.
Damn it, Bob.
Damn it, Bob. He went and looked it up, and he found out that psychic medium that we're talking about in New York, her husband is rated as one of the best defamation, slander, libel lawyers in New York. He's technically a personal injury reporter. I mean,
Wow.
so he's not kidding. So Bob might be right. There might have been some. They knew each other.
Yeah, maybe.
Bob.
Maybe we'll be hearing from him.
Come on, take it. Come on, right here. Come on. Oh, look at who's here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at you guys.
Hey, Mark.
Your favorite president.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Are you ready for this CSICon thing?
I
yeah.
am totally ready for it.
They asked a couple questions about you.
Who?
I saw questions,
We
didn't they,
always ask
Donna?
questions
We
about
always
you.
ask about Mark. Like,
There's actually a question in the chat for Susan about Mark.
oh,
There you go.
There you go, Susan. Has Mark ever taught you any of his tricks?
That's a personal problem. Sounds very...
The ball and base.
No, Mark.
You've seen that routine,
Yeah.
haven't you?
Well, Mark does. He's got a whole run of the house. He's got like a big table with all sorts of stuff and tape and things. So he works on his effects right here, and then
That's cool.
not in my room, but so I come in there and he'll say, "Can I try something out on you?"
She's my main assistant at the Magic Castle, doing all my pre-show for me.
Mm-hmm. I do hot readings. Oh my god, it's so much fun.
So you?
Oh my god, it's so much fun. But yeah, so he doesn't teach me any tricks. It just you just see them.
Susan's unteachable.
I am absolutely unteachable. I can't practice. I can never play. No, no.
What's he looking at?
Who?
Kenny.
What are you looking at, Kenny?
There is a strange.
Something's banging here.
Something's banging like right outside, and it shouldn't be.
It's Eric behind the wall.
Kitten.
Maybe it's fireworks.
Oh, maybe.
I
maybe
hear
it's
it.
a
I
band.
think
hear
the
it.
band. It's probably the band.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, we hear noises here anyway. There's a metal roof on here, so as wind goes or the temperature, it flexes. So we hear it all the time. But
That's
like,
pretty loud.
we're hearing pretty big, like bangs.
Yeah,
I
it's
wonder
a ghost.
Yeah, I wonder if
It's finally a ghost.
It's
This
either
time.
fireworks or I know the band was playing earlier. For Buffalo, it has to be fireworks.
I can
That's
hear
pretty
it.
loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Weird.
quick. It's not like a gunshot
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that. My area, I would
All
think it was a gunshot. Oh, and I wanted to show you something.
Show me.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, is that the magazine you were in?
Yeah, this is so awesome. My God, you guys, I'm afraid to open it because it has got every smell in the world in it. If you're one of those people who can't handle the smell,
Yeah.
they've
Did
got
you read
so
the
many
article?
perfumes. Huh?
Did you read the article?
Well, yeah, of course I read the article.
All right, I was just making sure.
I mean, I had to.
So
I
what
was
is- what is
standing
it?
there
Tell us-
I had to go drive a half an hour to get this magazine. I bought 3 of them, and it's on page 89. Here we are. It's only one page. I thought that I was really shocked. I'm standing there reading it as I'm buying the the smell of this. As I'm standing, I've been trying to like let them air out, but they put 3 or 4 different kinds of perfume in it, and I don't want to rip these things out. I want to keep it pristine.
Right.
But this journalist, she interviewed me a year ago, and we talked for over Zoom and emails and stuff for a long time. She went to a lot of trouble to do this article, and then it's 1 page long. I thought I was really surprised, but it's this one right here. Oh God,
UV fireworks. That's what they are.
Mediums
are the new therapists, and it's the subheading is "If a Seance Can Solve Your Pain, Does It Matter If It's a Scam?" by Jacqueline de Twitter George. It's the October edition, you guys. I can't find the article online. It's
Okay.
in the print.
I think because I started reading it, you posted a picture, so I saved it and then enlarged it so I could read it. And they talk about a study in there, and
I thought that was
I'm
strange.
pretty
Yeah.
sure I have the study.
Oh, you do?
Yes, because this
She didn't-
talks
she
about
didn't
it.
mention it. I thought that. I mean, she just said a study.
I
but-
know, but I've read this previously. So when I started reading that article, I was like, oh, I recognize this. Okay, I know where it's coming from. And
Yeah.
this study is a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
It's horrible.
I just from what she was saying, that her point is that, well, she believes like we do that's, you know, her thing is she doesn't believe in psychics, but her thing is that to some people who go have psychic readings, they feel better afterwards, and therefore it's like a cheap form of therapy. And okay, I get that, but when they do these studies, they're talking to people directly after, like, hey, did you you're crying, you're what's it called, you feel cathartic, you're bonded
released,
with these
the release.
people. Yeah, and you've just had this emotional thing, and it feels really great, probably. So if you do a study and you were to interview people like that, and she does in this, she says she just talked to this woman who said, she'd been in touch with her son and she was crying and she feels so much better. My son's here. That's how she ends the article. Of course, they feel much better, but days later, maybe not. So I get letters from people who have gone through this process. They get the reading, and then the next thing they know, they start thinking about it, and then they Google the psychic and they realize, oh, and then they feel really stupid and foolish, and they feel bad. They feel really bad about it, and they realize they weren't talking to their dead family member. And so if you were to interview those people, you would find out that no, there is no therapy in this. It's just manipulation of their emotions, vulnerable people. Anyway, so I wanted to point that out. I have got to take this thing and put it in my garage or something and open up the pages and let it.
Got to get it out there.
Like I said, I've got 3 of these magazines. So,
well, you can make like a shadow box, and so you have the cover, because you have it open up, and then put the cover one just with the cover, so it shows on the other side. So you have the cover and then the article.
No, that's true. I could put it. Yeah,
nice. Yeah. I
Well,
like that.
I got what people. My friend Jane in Oregon, she made me feel really good, but she's like, "This is L. This is millions of people are going to read this.
Yeah,
This is a big deal, and it's not the typical place where people who are scientifically minded are going to find this article, and they're going to look at this and they're going to go, oh, mediumship, I got to read that. And it's only 1 page long, so of course they're going to read it. So she says, this is a lot of people who are going to see this and understand. And I'm going to show it to you again. So here's the article. It's this long, 1 page, right?
Okay.
So I get, from here. Oh, I can't do that.
You suck at
Like
this.
backwards. I'm in a backwards world. Okay, so from here to here is all me. It's
that's
quote.
cool.
It's a long quote. So I got this really long quote, and I think it's powerful what I said. So I think that that's really good. But you know what? There's been no, it's not like when I have been in the New York Times and I just spent 2 weeks after the New York Times article fielding calls from people.
Right.
But nobody's looking me up. There's, my Google hits are not moving, the Wikipedia views, my website, if they're reading this, they're just going, oh, that's interesting. And they're not like saying,
Right.
oh, let me reach out to this Susan Gerbic person. So
Right.
that didn't happen. There was no spike in anything that would have associated it with me. Because, we have to know how to, we skeptics, we need to know the data afterwards. How do we know?
Yeah, we need to know.
It's
Yeah.
working, how do you know if it had an impact? We don't know, but we do know that nobody was looking me up afterwards, and I didn't get contacted by anybody. But it's only October 13th. It's Friday the 13th. Maybe they're gonna
give it time. Yeah.
I don't know.
happen.
I think they're too busy looking at the fashion in there, but
Yeah, probably. But we'll see.
who knows?
All right. We got questions.
yeah, we have a few.
We got a
I've
couple
got
questions.
answers.
All right.
Okay,
Let's
What
see
do you
what
got?
pops up.
Study in.
Let's see.
Okay, did Eric go on a ghost hunt yet?
Oh, Eric behind the wall.
Eric behind the wall.
You have to call
So-
him Eric behind the wall, people, if you want Kitty to know who you're talking about.
Eric has not gone on a ghost hunt yet. He has not because
He's busy on the weekends.
He is.
He
He
is.
does. He does disc.
He has a
golf.
wife and like
Um,
a life.
Well, he does like tournaments and stuff. He's
Mhm.
really big in the disc golf,
Mhm.
and he does that. He runs his own tournaments,
Mhm.
so he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
This weekend we are actually going to the premiere of a season premiere of a ghost hunting show. That's going to be shown at a theater here in Buffalo. So we're going to that because there's a bunch of people that are going. You had to buy tickets to go. What really tipped me to go was that they have an open bar. So I said, all right, I'll drink and watch a ghost hunting show and see what everyone else does. So we're going to that, but I haven't gotten them to go on a ghost hunt yet.
Yeah, that is quite a commitment, to
Maybe we
hours
can find
long.
one in
And
Vegas.
no,
ghost
there's no
tours
time.
in Vegas?
Eric is going to be
Not a
kept
tour,
so
it's
busy.
hunt.
So
So it's like going
hunt.
out.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
got
so
it.
but he did go to 2 of the
Ghost tours.
Yeah.
He
ghost
did do the
tours,
tours.
or ghost walks, or whatever you want to call them, and he also did the graveyard thing with Atten. So yeah, he's just trying to. You guys don't understand. Eric behind the wall is new to this, and so he's trying to absorb.
He's a deep thinker.
Everything from all over.
Oh, he's so excited for CSICon too.
Yeah.
I bet, but he's going to be exhausted if he has.
Yeah. This is the first time he's going. There's so much that he wants to do and see.
Yeah,
He's
new employee. He's only in his first year.
He's
so.
a noob. A noob.
He's got to have it planned out and everything. So I don't even know if he's gonna have time to watch the show. We're just talking about it.
When we were in Portland area, and we went on some hikes. We went on hiking because they have dormant volcanoes there, which is
I didn't do these. You guys.
I didn't know that was a thing, and it was cool to know like we're hiking up a dormant volcano, and our discussions they were filled with the most philosophical discussing that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, that's Eric.
And it was great. He's so much fun to talk to, and it's just so sometimes we trade going to each other's offices and just sit sometimes for a while and just get into these really deep discussions. It's great. I'm glad.
Yeah, he does. That's what's happening in the front seat of the car whenever we're driving.
Yeah.
Oh, I did want to mention, just because I don't want to, is that when I wrote that ghost hunting article, ghost walk article,
yes,
Barry Carr was upset at me. He said, I'm going to change the name of this to Sleeping with the Enemy. Like, what? He says, you and Kenny, he says, Kenny is too kind to ghost hunting community and all that. And I said, well, I don't know if I'd call it kind. He's just, that's where the world he's come from, and that's, you understand. Yeah. But he says, he thinks that you and now me are just too nice about that going on ghost hunts. And I said, it depends on what we're talking about, ghost hunts that are all woo, woo, woo. Okay. That's one thing. We should still go because we need to know what's being said so we know how to handle it and how to deal with it. But I'm not going to attack anybody. I'm not going to call anybody out on a ghost.
No. Well, I mean, there's a time and place to call people out. And you want to make sure you have all the information first. I have framed letters with the intent to sue me from people because I have not been as nice as people say. So it's being nice is just being professional. I think it's being polite. You don't have to be like, let's you can stay at my house if you want to. You don't have to be that nice. If you're in town, you can stay at my house, but you can be professionally polite when you're having a conversation with someone that has opposing viewpoints. And that gets you along much further.
Right.
If you come off as an asshole, people are not going to talk to you. They're not going to invite you out. You're not going to gain entry to places.
Right. You need to have a relationship with these people because this is we're not just going in and just doing the thing and then leaving. It's same thing when I do the psychic stuff. I don't go in and expose anybody. I never do. You stay in character the whole way through because and when you're done, you only put out factual stuff. You don't put anything that's ad hominem, nothing cutting down the psychic in that way. Like if they talk funny or if they did something weird. No, it's always just stick to the facts. What did she say? How did she say it? This is what my opinion is, and that's it. So Bob's back, so we can start. I know we were talking about him. I'll have to rewind this.
Yeah.
Damn it, Bob.
So what else?
was
What
gonna
other
say-
questions?
Up.
I was gonna say that you should make Eric a special badge that says Eric behind the wall for CSICon.
Make him a T-shirt.
Me-
I don't know anybody else.
it on-
I'm Eric behind the wall.
Eric behind. Just put it in parentheses under his name on his
I don't-
badge.
I
I
Behind
think
the
just walking around with a shirt that said that would strike up. People would stop and be like,
Be like Eric
What
behind
wall?
the wall.
"What do you mean? What wall? Like, is this
Behind the veil.
Pink Floyd? Like, what are we
What
talking
else
about
you
here?"
got for Donna? Do you got me another question?
I do. I got it from Bob. I'm glad
Bob.
he's back.
All
Interesting.
right. Is that the place for Creative Commons, aka a place to share copyrighted materials for others' use? You cannot share copyrighted materials. So any photograph or media like audio or video or whatever that you personally have created, you can upload it to Wikimedia Commons. And then once you have done that, it can be used on Wikipedia. And then people all over the world can take your image and use it because you're giving permission that this is free to the world. I'm giving it as a blessing. And I've done that. Like I've taken a picture of a hamburger, somebody holding a hamburger at this place, and I took a picture of it and then I uploaded to Wikimedia Commons. It went onto the Wikipedia page for that restaurant. And then years later, I get a Google search, Google name thing, and it had my name, and it was a picture of the hamburger.
The bird.
And it said credited Wikimedia Commons, Susan Gerbic, and it was used in an ad somewhere, someplace. I think it was like a, they were talking about the restaurant and stuff. So yeah, so Wikimedia Commons is where we have to have everything uploaded. You cannot take an image off the internet and upload it to Wikimedia Commons unless you have permission to do so. And the permission usually comes from the owner, the person who took the picture, which is why so many Wikipedia pages are in such bad shape. They don't have photos and they don't have images on them because we just can't take a picture. The rules are really strict. We take it seriously, the ownership, copyright. So that's the answer to that.
Interesting. I mean, that's
So I want you to go through everybody to go through their computers today and look for pictures, and then let's get them uploaded.
if you have specific things you need a picture of, let me know because I might have one. And I don't care.
Give me your files. I'll go.
What do you need?
Well, there's several ways of doing it. There are links that says what is nearby me that does not have an image on it, and you put in your zip code, and it will say like the library down the street has a Wikipedia page and there's no photo, or this intersection has a Wikipedia page and this monument or whatever. There's all kinds of stuff where you can do that.
Where do you see that? Where do you get that?
Well, I'll have to send it to you guys.
Okay.
But it's like if I'm traveling or something, and if I have a dull day, I will put it in my zip code, and then I'll just take my bike or go for a walk or drive and go out and photograph the library, photograph the train station, photograph whatever, come back, upload the pictures, and then they can be put on the Wikipedia pages.
Oh, nice.
If I go to a botanical garden, a zoo, any odd museum, especially small museums or historical homes, I'm sure they need photos. I still haven't seen those Robert Ingersoll photographs that you guys went and did at the Birthplace Museum.
Okay,
I asked you for them. They're still not here. I need those uploaded so that they can put on the Wikipedia page for the Robert Ingersoll Birthplace Museum Wikipedia page that I wrote with Tom Flynn like 100 years ago. But all those things, and the problem we're running into a lot is scientists. We write a lot of Wikipedia pages for people of science, and we can't get a picture out of them. They're like, it's like pulling teeth. They're like, oh, I don't have a good photo, or just take one off my website. And you're like, I can't take it off your website. And so it's like, they have phones. Pick up your dang phone and take a selfie of yourself and upload it.
But
I can't get them to do that. They just don't.
You couldn't do a selfie.
Huh?
I thought you couldn't do a selfie.
Of course you can do a selfie. We've used it many times. Why wouldn't you be able to do a selfie?
I don't know.
As long as the photographer uploads the photo. who you're giving a permission to use this photo. So I go around and photograph people. Carl with a K and Brian Engler, who will be at CSICon, I meet with them beforehand and we go through the speakers list. And I say, this person, this person, this person, they have Wikipedia pages, or we plan on writing a Wikipedia page for this person. I need photos. So they go and they intentionally go and take pictures knowing that I'm going to want them. And they've uploaded, lots of photos. So from past speakers of different CSICons and different conferences, they're a lot of the photos of those people are is their work. So if you're a person who likes to take photographs, and they don't have to be massively amazing photographs. I mean, we just know photographs,
right?
Images of plants, bugs.
All right. So I got it on my notes right here.
But you're a busy man. I want somebody else to get on it.
I don't
send me a link and I will tell you what I want. I'm a picky photographer, so I will go and I will say this picture and this picture.
Okay.
And then I'll kind of clean it up and do it. Anyway, so we need to talk about CSICon before we get in.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, let's take some more questions, and then we'll finish it off with CSICon.
Okay.
You gonna read them?
Oh, do you think there is a difference between tours run by paranormal investigators, scientific skeptics who are also investigators, and investigators who have studied parapsychology?
I've only gone on, and I've done a bunch of these kinds of tours, and the ones I've been on have always been either by a tour company or somebody who's like, that's their job, and they've written a script of some sort. There's the one I did at the Stanley Hotel, Mark and I went on, that was very heavily paranormal. So it was a paranormal focus, because I mean, they had a resident psychic in the building. And so they made a lot of money off of their paranormal stuff. And Winchester Mystery House has changed its tune a lot. As I said in the article, it used to be much more woo, woo, woo. And now it's much more, oh yeah, well, some people say that this happened, but check out the stained glass, and they've gotten a lot less. So I don't know. Kenny, you would probably be able to answer that better. Are also investigators who study parapsychology. I don't know of any parapsychology. So Richard Weissman's a parapsychologist. Susan Blackmore is a parapsychology person. And Richard Weissman will be at CSICon.
So yeah, it's difficult to answer this question because most tours are either run by a tour company or by ghost hunters. And that's the majority that I've come across, where ghost hunters or teams have done their own group or their own tour, and they put it out there. When it comes to scientific skeptics, I have never come across one, either in like attended one or have seen one advertised. It just doesn't. I mean, I give a tour of the facility here. You can see all the artifacts and stuff from my investigations or what people have sent me. So that is not a ghost tour, but it's more like a science or an investigative tour, I would say.
Yeah, different. So I don't think you could equate all these things.
And then when it comes to someone that studied parapsychology, there's you have to look at the words there and not sure what you mean by that. Are we talking about someone that actually has a degree in parapsychology, or is it someone that has read up on it? So you can take classes, and I guess that qualifies you as studying parapsychology. Or there's other people, which I've come across, that call themselves parapsychologists when they have they're anything but, and they think because they are researching ghosts and investigating, they give themselves the title. There was a certain TV B-list celebrity that called himself a parapsychologist. There was a lot of people that showed up at conferences that called themselves parapsychologists, but they had no degrees, they had no training, nothing at all. They just used that term because they thought, well, I'm going to use the title.
That's cool.
Basically. So I don't think there is a comparison with the three, because the middle one, the scientific skeptics, I don't see. I don't know if you have, Kat, but I haven't seen any of that. It's usually ghost hunters, or like we experienced in the West Coast, just people that, I mean, the one guy was the tank top guy was an actor, and
Yeah,
he was an actor /
Elevator.
elevator operator for the Space Needle. So stop laughing. Don't laugh. That's mean.
What? Well, that was just he just had another job.
Yeah. Well,
It's
yeah.
a
And this was
job.
his
I mean,
other
it wasn't
job.
his. He wasn't a historian or a parapsychologist. Or,
No.
No,
It was just-
that's why it was perfect for
He was
him.
a
He was handed a
storyteller.
script and
Yeah.
told to tell
and he
stories.
memorized it. He did good.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he memorized it.
I
Didn't have
he
to.
memorized it. I didn't think he did good.
Mark is yelling from the other room. There is no parapsychology taught in the United States
Yes,
as a
there's
degree.
none, not since like the 70s, I think, late 70s. But yeah, there's University of Edinburgh is the only one that I know of that
Yeah,
offers
Rich
a
Weissman.
degree.
He'll be at CSICon.
So,
He's going to be there. What else you got for me, Donna?
I got a question from Carolyn.
oh,
I can see picking your battles on ghost tours. What about ghost hunts advertised as investigations that are charging the public a good chunk of change, like $50 or so? Is it appropriate to push back more against the pseudoscience at the time?
I think that you want to pick your battles. You
Yeah.
want to be in. You're going to be in this. Like I said, you're going to be in this world for a very long time. So I think you need to be very respectful. Push back on only small things here and there that maybe are harmful, but always try to save face. Let them save face. Oh, you probably saw that too, or I'm sure you figured that out too. Always keep it open because you want them to be able to come to you later. And
Right.
if they have something odd or whatever and feel comfortable to sharing it with you. So I would never do anything on the tour that Kenny and I were with in Portland. The female tour guide, remember that, Kenny? She shows
Yes.
us a photo on her phone, says, somebody on the last tour showed me this, and you can see over the person's shoulder there's a ghost, and we're all gathering around looking at it. And I said, and I wrote this in the article, I said, where? Right there? And she's like, yeah, right there. And I'm like, oh, that looks like pareidolia. And she goes, no, pareidolia would have been on one of the bricks, not in the like floating over her thing. And I looked at Kenny, and Kenny and I were just like, so we just kind of let it pass.
Yeah.
I threw it out there, and I didn't want to be the skeptic or anything like that. I didn't want to argue with her.
It comes down to the idea of not only picking your battles, but not being that guy.
Yeah,
in
no.
quotes. Because if you start arguing, and by arguing I mean just disagreeing and constantly disagreeing and or bringing information that corrects an incorrect statement, then the tour people, the people attending the tour, they're going to get pissed off.
Yeah, what a
because
jerk.
the basic idea is they all paid for entertainment. They came out to take a tour, to learn about ghost stories, and they're going to get a little history. So it's not always the time to fight or pick a fight. When I go in, I'm listening, I'm observing. I want to see what they're saying first. I mean, that's my priority, is to hear the story that's being told and what are they presenting as the ghost element. I want to hear what they have to say, because there might be a testable claim in it that I might be able to come back later and contact the owner of that particular building and say, hey, I heard this. I'd like to come in and talk to you about it. And that's much better than standing on the street and going, well, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. You don't know what you're talking about, because you're going to get kicked off the tour. And other people are going to look at you like, come on, man, we're just here to have a good time. You're ruining it.
Right. Yeah. I'm here for a walk and talking about the historical sites and some ghost stories.
And I mean, there were a few times where I caught up to her, that tour that we took, and would ask her a question, but it was just me and her. Like, I'm not bringing it up to the whole group, but I'm saying, hey, like you said this, where is there any documentation that I can find? Is there newspapers? And in that case, when I asked about the specific documentation, she gave me a date. She gave me the name of the newspaper and the date where I could find it, which I wrote down, and I can find it now. That's great. At the end, when she finally acknowledged that I had an EMF meter. I mean, I literally could have walked off with that. She would have never known. But when she acknowledged it and she said, "Oh, look, that's going off. Look at that." And I said, "Yeah, because there's power lines in the street, not overhead, but they're underneath the sidewalk." And then we had a little back and forth. But it was mostly private because I didn't get loud. I didn't involve the entire crowd. It was me and her talking. And that's the secret, I think, sometimes, is to talk just for you guys, for you and the person you're talking to. So if we're talking in a crowd and if everyone's interested, I'm telling a story, I'm talking like this. I'm projecting my voice. But if I have a problem, I come in and talk to you and I'm talking like this. I'll say, "Hey, I have an issue with this. It doesn't work this way." And now it's a conversation just between the two of us. So I'm not embarrassing her openly in front of everyone, but we're having a discussion. And if it gets too much, then I can say, "Hey, here's my card. Maybe we can talk later."
Right. Or I'm really curious about this. Can we just talk about that? I know we got to go on with the tour, but
right.
I'd like to know more about that. Can you send me something? Yeah.
Because for the most part,
Carolyn is not confrontational. She's a sweetheart.
She is. She's so nice. Carolyn, everyone who knows me knows I'm not confrontational. I just feel bad when people think they're going home with proof from a so-called investigation after paying a lot of money. Well, that's why you like what you did when you brought up the idea that the picture was pareidolia. I mean, you said it. You weren't confrontational about it. You weren't being mean. You said, "Hey, I think this looks like this to me." And sometimes that helps, because just by saying that, if someone else is next to you and they have an idea of what that means, they might approach you later
or ask you, "What does that mean?"
Right. And that's happened to me a lot.
Then we have a conversation. Yeah.
We go after the tour's done. They walk up and say, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And they'll ask me about this. And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'll tell you what you want to know. And here you go. And here's where you can look it up and verify what I said. Here's my card. We can talk later. I can send you links, reference material." So I'm always happy to do that. So you don't have to be confrontational. You can be conversational.
Yeah. And pick your battles. Like I say, don't, it's not everything. Just wait until it's something important. Maybe just do it once, maybe 2 times, but don't do it.
Yeah. There's been very few times where I had like an outburst. And I mean, once we were at a craft fair and I wasn't working. Donna was working and I was just sitting there. I was the help. I was the pick stuff up and put it down guy. And a lady came up with a brochure selling, I think, essential oils. Remember that? And and I opened it, and one of the first things it said was that it helps cure cancer. And I just lost.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember what I said. I'm like, how dare you walk around this place and give this shit out? Like, who the hell are you?
Now that makes sense.
So, yeah,
and like the TV people, like if I had been, like if I had a chance to talk to that Dan Levy person, I would probably not hold back, or that news station, and I would probably give him a huge piece of my mind, and it wouldn't be nice because you are setting yourself up as the authority. You have a news program. You're supposed to be telling the news. News is supposed to be factual, not promotions, infomercials,
and neutral. And
to some extent,
give both sides, give the fact check it, and that reporter did not do that. And to me, in just my personal opinion, I think he twisted the facts.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
And played on it.
It was his words on that. It wasn't something taken out of context. He said those things.
Yeah. All right. What else we got?
Question.
One more question
from Adrian Hill.
Ooh.
Melanie Tressa King recently has received some really disgusting comments that are personal attacks and threats on social media. Have you ever received that level of hate like Kenny was talking about?
No.
Because everybody loves Susan.
No. I think they're scared of me.
They're scared of you. Yeah, that could be it too.
On YouTube, I get comments all the time that will, and I respond to all my comments. You guys check out my channel if you aren't already there. Psychics Explained, see it is, or you could type it and you could say psychic
It's
sex
right there.
explained. Depending on how you see this, if you depending on how you space it. But anyway, my point is, people leave me comments, and there are some hateful comments. They talk about, my hair or whatever, or my voice or whatever. Okay, well, whatever. And a lot of people tell me I'm jealous, which is ridiculous. Just stuff like that. I usually respond in kind. I give it a flippant remark. I enjoy that
with kindness.
But what usually happens, and I've had the parapsychologists like Rupert Sheldrake and some of the other long name people, and usually they respond. If they respond, it's Ms. Gerbic, or they don't say my name, but they're polite. So most people who are, even the psychics, I mean, Thomas John will say stuff like, she's a crazy cat lady, and she's just, he says stuff like that, but nothing that's ever really bad, like what Melanie's coming up with. I think I just have a reputation, and I think people are afraid. And Mark would probably say so if he was listening. He would probably say that I think people are scared, because really the stuff I do is kind of, and the people we know and the world we're in, you just shouldn't mess with somebody like us.
Right.
Yeah, apparently I control Wikipedia, so you somebody like me off. But I think that's what's going. Now I'm going to get all sorts of hate. Thanks a lot, Adrian. But no, I have not gotten that. I think I just don't present myself as that kind of person. I think it's just, I don't know.
I don't know why.
I never got it. All those years of all those people would put up that hate mail they get, and people calling them all sorts of horrible things. I never got it. I have people say I'm old or whatever, and I'm like, we invented the internet. Get off of it. You little slime kid. Little kid, get off my lawn. But no.
I feel bad. I mean, I see.
You feel bad? You want me to
no, I feel bad for for Melanie and other people that get that kind of. Because some of the I've seen a lot of the comments.
They're just like 12-year-olds or 12-year-old mentality.
It's very childish.
Or people whose minds are not okay. So I don't know.
We started to talk about this the other night. Like, I just can't. I don't understand, and I can't comprehend the hatred. It's like people like Melanie is like, I love Melanie dearly. We love her. Like, she's so great. She's enthusiastic. She has a lot of energy. She loves being in this community. She has a lot to give and teach. And to see the childish, immature comments directed at her, calling her just names that I'm not going to get into here, but I'm like, why? I don't understand it. And maybe because
I just think it's human that there's a level of juvenile, and I don't want to blame kids, because kids, these 12 and 13-year-olds it's probably 30-year-old, 50-year-old people,
right. Yeah.
It's just, I think it's always been that way. If we had social media back in the 1800s,
right, it would be
it probably would work. But you know what?
If this was in the 1800s, you wouldn't be allowed on the internet.
Well, that's true. That would be bad. But the point is, I think it's just you gotta grow. You just gotta put up with it. This is not the business we're in. Is not for anybody who doesn't have. You got to grow a skin. You got to get
armor-plated skin.
You got to put it out just as bad as you receive it, and block them or whatever you want to do. Because I've seen a lot of the other females in our community that have just imploded, and they couldn't do it. So, if we're going to, anyway, that's my thoughts. I was going to mention Melody, because I'm going to be spending a lot of time with her and Anthony, because I'm going to see him at CSICon.
Yeah.
And then for those of you guys out there who might be outside of the United States, I'm going to be in New Zealand for Thanksgiving.
I wish we were going to that.
And I wish Donna, I wish you would come with me. Leave Kenny home.
I can do that.
Done it before.
So I'm gone for like 3 weeks, and I'm going by myself. So
go.
I'm flying
Video games.
hey, check this out. I just been talking to him. So what we're going to do is I'm flying to Auckland. They're putting on a Skeptics in the Pub for me. And I'm staying with Craig Shear and his wife, who's they're the head of the New Zealand Skeptics, a good friend of mine. And so then they're putting me on a train, and I have a 10-hour train ride along the coast of New Zealand.
Oh.
And then I get off at Wellington, and then there's 3 other skeptics are going to pick me up, and we're going to drive to the conference another 10 hours or something like that.
Oh my
And
God.
we're going to be going over like a ferry at like 2 a.m. They said I'm going to just sleep. It's a road trip they want to do. So it's going to take me all day and part of the next day to get to this conference in Dunedin in New Zealand. So then there's a conference. It's only going to be like 50 people there.
Wow.
Then I'm flying with Melody, because Melody will be there too, her and
Right.
Anthony. And then I'm flying to Brisbane in Australia, and Melody and I are going to do a joint talk in Brisbane.
Ooh.
And then we're flying to Melbourne, and we're going to do the conference in Melbourne. We're there for several days. And then we're flying to Sydney. We're going to do Sydney Skeptics in the Pub, and her and I will do a joint talk over there. So I'm spending a lot of quality time with Melanie. I think she'll be able to keep up. But
Kenny's going to be so jealous.
I know.
She won't be able to keep up.
You know what? These things don't fall in your lap. You have to really work
You have to
get the relationship with these people.
This is great. She's getting a crash course.
Well, I'm telling you. But the thing about the New Zealand skeptics, they treat me like, and same with the Australians, like I am one of them. And my talk in New Zealand is going to be how awesome they are, because during the pandemic, I did 2 psychic stings that they were involved in. So they stepped up when I said, I need somebody to help me out with this psychic sting. New Zealand in Operation Onion Ring stepped up, and they showed up, and they spent hours with me working on this sting, and I wouldn't have been able to pull it off as well as I did without their help. So I'm going to go there and celebrate them. I'm going there to tell them what they did and how awesome they are.
That's all.
It's just
That's great.
Cool.
So anyway, that's what I'm doing this November, December with Melanie and Anthony. So I'm looking forward to it. Melanie got the talk in Australia, and I think she posted on Facebook or something. And I said, well, if you're in Australia, why don't you do New Zealand? And she goes, oh, I don't know anything about that, And I said, so I contacted the New Zealand skeptics, and I said, I just want to let you know, Melanie Treasure King is going to be in Australia, and she would probably be open to going to New Zealand. And they called her and told her, we'd like to offer you a position. So I got her that. So she owes me. Whenever I'm old and she's like on the top of the world, she's better look back on this and say, I throw a bone to Susan Gerbic. Everybody's forgotten her now. I love seeing new talent. We need to replace ourselves. I'm not going to be around forever, and I will burn out eventually, or something will happen to me. So
I plan on being
find
around
replacements for me
for another. What am I? 50 something?
I don't know.
I think you'd be like 25, Kenny. I just cannot see you as a man, like a adult. I don't know why.
I'm not trying to take that.
Because he's a big kid.
I think he was like 30-ish.
Wow.
I just can't see you as, I don't know.
Because I'm always having fun.
Well,
like, this is a great
I
life.
know.
I'm enjoying life.
Yeah, you got your dream, and you've got this awesome woman that's sitting there with you. Oh my gosh,
right there.
I think it's so cool. So should we talk about CSICon, or is there any other?
Yeah, no, we're done questions. So
we're done questions. And you pretty much gave everyone what you're doing, your upcoming events.
Oh, so, I've got some other stuff that I can't tell anybody online. So I've got some other things happening that.
Let's take a few minutes and talk about CSICon, and then we'll wrap it up.
Are you tired? Are you getting tired? I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Here we go.
I'm sorry.
No, we don't like to take this into a 3-hour show, Susan. It's usually my fault.
It's usually her, because she'll start looking like,
I'm like, let's go.
Come on, let's wrap this up.
It's late here.
Yeah, you're 3 hours behind us. Keep that in mind.
3 hours ahead of me.
Yeah,
we're
that's how it works. All right.
What do you want to know?
CSICon. So, is it going to be fun?
I think it's going to be more intimate than we've been used to. We have
You got another question for me?
no. There's only 500. Mark wants to know if there's another question for him. So if somebody has a question for him, please ask it now. So there's going to only be about 500 people here. In the past, we had about 700.
Well, there's people. There's more and more every day. I just talked to Ross Blotcher. He just got his ticket, so he'll be out there. And we got a nice lineup. Here's all the people. I want to point out this handsome man is number one.
I noticed that whenever it came out, I thought that was great. There's so many people. There's so many people I'm looking forward to seeing that are I just love. And I'm so excited about Stephen Hupp, who's going to be able to, this is his first, not his first CSIcon, but his first, now that he's the editor, taking over after Ken Frazier. So that's going to be super exciting that he's not just an attendee now. He's the publisher of Skeptical Inquirer. He's the editor.
That
Stephen
guy,
Hupp, really amazing. So many people I don't know that I'm looking forward to knowing them, meeting them. Because getting to know this new community of people who I don't know, Glenn Cluster, I don't know, and
people that
so
know.
we got. Let's see, we're gonna have Stuart Weiss, who was our intern editor.
Him. He's adorable. I love him. He's wonderful.
I'm gonna butcher some of these names.
That's
why I was trying not to name some of them. We got Dave Farina.
I don't know her.
Stephen Hupp.
Yeah, he's the new.
Richard Dawkins, Dustin Dean, who I'm excited about because I've worked with him.
I friended him as soon as I heard about him that you were talking about him, and him and I've been talking.
I pitched him right away as soon as because Barry usually sends out who suggestions. Give me suggestions of speakers, and I was like Dustin Dean. Because he's a great mentalist. He's got a really big following. He challenges people. I love it. So
I'm looking forward to meeting him in person.
We got who else? We got Erica Engelholt.
I don't know her.
I don't know her. I'm looking forward to her talk because
I'm looking forward to meeting these people. I probably won't go to any talks.
We got Mick West.
I love Mick West. Him and I have known each other for years and years. And I knew him before he was Mr. UFO.
Guy.
Incredible talent. There's
Stuart.
It's Friday the 13th. How can he possibly be here?
He's talking about himself.
He should be on lecture circuits, performing everywhere about.
All right.
He should be doing, what's her name? The 13 woman, the really popular person.
I know who you're talking about.
He should be at one of her concerts talking about superstitions. Talk about interesting.
Oh my god!
I didn't know he was here. Oh, I'm embarrassed.
Anyway, so we got Melanie Teresa King. She's going to be there. Eugenie Scott and I are very good friends. She is awesome. Seema Yasmin.
I don't know her yet.
She was there last year. She did a talk. She has a book out called What the Fact? Why media literacy isn't being taught in U.S. schools. I have the book. I haven't read it yet. What else we got? We got Paul Offit.
Paul Offit. Oh my gosh, Paul Offit. Paul Offit is amazing. He is amazing. And his friend Stanley Plotkin. I want Stanley Plotkin to be there. He's 89 years old or something now.
Rena Raphael.
Don't know her.
I don't know her. Craig Foster. I know him.
Craig Foster is another absolute dear. I have a wonderful picture of Craig Foster and Stuart Weiss sitting and talking, and a couple chairs sitting together talking at CSIcon. They had not met in person, but they knew each other.
On a Saturday, there's going to be a panel discussion, which is cool because I don't know if CSIcon had, at least not as long as I've been there, they haven't had a panel discussion, and that's going to be about young skeptics, and it's going to have Stephen Hupp, Melanie Teresa King, Bertha Vasquez, and Richard Wiseman. So I'm looking forward to that.
All just stunning. I'm going to try to go to these talks this year. I don't.
You should go, Susan.
We have Naomi.
I run a table in the book room. That's where you guys will find me there. And I want I want it to have people, somebody at the table all the time, but I don't want the people on my team to be stuck at the table. I want them to go.
You got to rotate.
I want them to really experience the whole conference. And the the speakers come and sit with me and hang out with me.
They do.
So they just come and sit
That's
at the
because
table.
you make them. You just
Well,
grab them. They come in the book room. You grab them and say,
Sign the book.
"Sit down with me."
Please sign your book for me, sir. But they, they've got downtime too. So they come over and they sit at the table because it seems like the natural place to be. And then other talks are going on and they're like getting ready for their talk or whatever. So I get to meet them and talk to them. I just don't sit and listen to their lectures very often.
I don't know what I'll be doing because I know I'm working throughout the whole time. So I'll be running around. Me and Eric behind the wall will be running around doing a lot of stuff. Even Donna usually jumps behind the registration desk and takes over.
Don't forget about the Sunday papers, you guys.
Yeah, the Sunday papers.
I will be in the front row of the Sunday papers with a camera recording them because they don't usually record them.
I think they are this year.
Up on my YouTube channel.
We have a independent film company that's recording them this year instead of us doing it. Oh yeah.
Well, nobody's ever recorded the Sunday papers.
That's because it's in the same stage area. They're going to record it this year, so we're going to have that.
The pressure's off me now.
Yeah,
but I will definitely be there. Rob Palmer and Adrian Hill are both giving talks, and so I'm super excited about it. I don't know who the other people are, but I adore it. Yeah. Dave Ferrara, I'm looking forward to meeting him. That's Dr. Dave Explains.
Yeah.
I've been looking at his channel. The guy is really a talent. Absolutely. I was on a panel with him in the Australian Skeptics during the pandemic, and him and I didn't get along very well. We were in the Q&A part. I was calling him out on stuff because he was kind of making it sound like, there's nothing we could do. We have to go in and we have to educate people by doing videos and being communicators. And I said, you can edit Wikipedia and make these Wikipedia pages strong. And then that way people can get their information through Wikipedia search. And he was kind of downplayed it like, oh yeah, well, you can't really do that or whatever, I'm like, I have news for you. You don't know who I am, but but I have been watching his channel. I love the interview that Rob Palmer did with him, and he's just really good. Oh, you knew who's going to be there? Richard Saunders is going to be there.
Yes, I know.
But he'll show up. He's going to be bending spoons for people and wandering around and doing his Australian things. He's going to talk in an Australian accent.
Doing his
there he is.
Remember to bring my
Robin Blummer. Did you know she has a book out? Let me grab her really quick.
Robin's got a book out.
Robin's got a book. I didn't know that.
Penny Biddle, you should get her.
Oh, that's not her book.
No, but she did the intro for it.
She did the intro. Yeah.
He's got the This is just. They asked me if I would do a blurb for it for to put out. And this is another talented person. His name is Douglas Harris. His daughter is Bailey Harris. And what is her sister's name? Yeah. Bailey Harris.
Bailey and L.
Yeah. Bailey Harris and her mom, Mackenzie, were super important for Operation
yes, I saw them.
They were
I saw them on there. Yeah.
As well as the New Zealand people. They were incredible. So I'm hoping that he'll be there because I didn't get these autographed, but this is Douglas's
I wrote a blurb for them too.
Robin, I've got two of these. I have Robin sign it. And if Douglas is there, do you know if they're going to be there? The Harris?
I don't know if they are. But I'm going
to get it signed.
He sent me 3 copies because I gave one. 3? Well, one I gave to the CFI library.
I have just 2.
And now I have 2. But one I'm probably going to give away. So I can keep one for myself. But I'm going to give away.
We should be having that out right now. Isn't this the holiday? Don't be mean at 13.
Today, yeah. It was released today.
Stuart, or if you're still there.
Definitely.
This is for you, dude.
All right.
I think that's important. So, I made a couple notes. I'm going to just say this really quick before you try to end this.
I don't think you say anything really quick.
Okay, so people who might be coming to CSICon, Adrian Hill and Rob Palmer and I did a video. It went on for like 3, 4, 5 hours. Yeah. But it was about CSICon and stuff like that. So if you're interested, if this is kind of your first CSICon, like I know Daniel's is, if it's not something that you're commonly, if you're introverted and you want to have a little better time, or if it's your first CSIcon, definitely check out this video. I know it's long, but there's some things I missed that I want to make sure everybody knows. Bring eye drops and chapstick. Those are two of those things that you're going to need. And I mentioned this before. You really need a light jacket like this.
Yeah,
Something
you do.
like this, because the place is always overly air conditioned. And so you just need that. And you get yourself a bag, like a nice CFI swag bag. Are you guys bringing those to sell
We
this
got
year?
swag bags coming. Yes, we
Okay,
do.
so then pick one of those up, one of those nice fabric, something like that at CFI, because you're going to get books. So pack light so that you have room to put the books that you're going to buy that are going to be autograph and get them autographed. Put them in the bag so that when you come home, so you have room. So don't overpack. Don't bring a bathing suit or anything like that. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to be using that. Come to the Halloween party, definitely. The 60s parties. I can't wait to see what you guys got planned. You always have the best costumes. Even though Melody Tresha King said that she's won this, so just don't even bother trying.
Yeah,
she
might this
thought
year,
she won last year too, and she did not.
Well, we don't really have great costumes either. So
well, we're saying I have an idea for one. I just got to go get it, which I should get.
Wait, you shouldn't go get anything. You should be making yours. You are the best. But then again, now you're working here, and
there is never enough time. No, because when I do cosplay, that's months of work to do it.
And
Dennis got his costumes.
Get there.
Oh yeah, so Stuart said the same thing. Bring a sweater, or just you really just need a light something.
A light jacket.
And there's places to put your stuff over the top of a chair or whatever.
So
So don't worry about that. There'll be water and things like that, drinking water. We tend to meet up at the
food court.
Yes. So we try to find a place. Always wear your name tags so that somebody will see, oh, that person's sitting off by themselves, offer to have them come sit with you. So you want to have your name tags all the time. You can they're the kind of name tags you can put your business cards or whatever, or your room key inside the little thing that you're carrying around with you. And Brian Dunning and I were just talking about this. I downloaded the app there you are. Yeah. I downloaded the app this time for the Caesar's Rewards. And I have a question to ask you. Don't let me forget.
Okay.
Caesar's Rewards, because I asked Dunning, I said, when are you guys getting in? He says, Wednesday. So by the time we get through the line to check in, it should be Friday. And I said, let's get the app. And I did. I looked up my hotel room. And so I'm wondering if I can use one of those kiosks, because some people do. You go up to the kiosk and it spits out your room key.
Oh, yeah. Ours didn't work last year.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that this year. So people who are attending, you might want to try to get the app. It's the Caesar's Rewards. Don't get the Flamingo one. Get the Caesar's Rewards. And yeah, like that. And it's got a little pocket in the back.
Yeah, it's got a pocket and thing for your pen.
Oh, yeah, because you're going to need to get autographs.
These are nice.
So do you guys remember if there's a microwave and a microwave in the hotel rooms?
I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
Because it's so expensive there. I wanted to be able to microwave some Pop-Tarts.
I know there's a refrigerator because we would get drinks and put them in the fridge.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
So there was a mini fridge. I don't remember they usually come together. If you have a fridge, you usually get a microwave.
I like popcorn and stuff. I've gone to a couple. I keep bringing microwave popcorn to different hotels, and then I get there and there's no microwave. I'm like, okay. I can't remember if the Flamingo does or not.
Usually, Susan, if your room doesn't have it at the hotels, you can go down and use the one in the lobby or whatever. They'll let you use them.
I don't know. These are different. Like the lobby is not like a lobby that we're used to going.
No, not here. I'm saying to Susan.
When I go
other
to
hotels.
Yeah. I should be able to say, hey, can you microwave my popcorn for me? Yeah, you're right. So people, it is expensive, even though Vegas is expensive.
Right.
The food court is not cheap. It is the cheapest place to eat, but it is not.
And it's the quickest and fastest.
Yeah, there's always places to eat. Oh, and Stuart says there's no coffee maker. And Bob says, why eye drops and chapstick? Because it's the desert. It's just the air conditioning is constantly running, and you feel dry.
out.
Dries you
Yeah,
out.
and it's always one of those things I always say to myself, "Oh,
I'm
God, I
glad
gotta go
you
buy
said
some
eye drops
food."
because I have to remember them.
And you see it, and it's like $5 or something. And
I know.
they've got you, you know.
Yep, they
Yeah.
know it.
So, coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I'm not too worried about the
I don't
coffee.
drink coffee. Yeah.
No, we go out for monsters.
Yeah. CVS has monsters.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
CVS is pretty close, so you can
Yeah,
walk over and
not
get a
that
whole
far,
bunch of stuff and bring it back. That's why I was trying to remember. I wanted to bring get some cereal, and I was thinking of keeping my getting a thing of milk when I get there.
That's a
So,
good
for
idea.
breakfast, because I don't have time to go down and have breakfast.
I know, especially the
And the
mornings
lines are
so
just too
early.
long.
Yeah.
People get like
I'm
an
always-
edition.
I'm excited to get there. Like, I just want to go. And if food is not on the way, then I ignore it because I just want to get there and see everyone, and
Right.
talk to
So
everyone.
I suggest people stop and once you're there, go to the CVS or whatever, Walgreens, and pick up some
Pick up some
snacky stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I stay at the table the whole time, and every time there's a break, I'm at my table because that's when people come out and they want to ask questions and things like that.
Right.
So I don't want to be away during a break. They have to close the room to get me to leave. I mean, they close it and lock the door. Tim says,
Mhm.
Susan, you got 10 minutes. And you're
Get
like,
out.
man,
Gotta go.
I want to stay here
Get
for another
out.
6 hours and talk to people. I enjoy it so much. I really do.
Stand in the hallway.
So
All right. Let's.
Kenny's trying
Are you good? You got all your notes done?
Well, I was just getting started, but I guess if you guys are
Oh
really,
my goodness. Donna, ruling.
if you're already okay, fine.
said
I guess
wrap
I
it
can
up.
go.
You
People
got
are tired of
5
listening
more
to me
minutes,
talk.
Susan. I'll give you 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Well, I don't have anything else. There's
Okay.
nothing I have to say
Oh,
except that I'm
nothing
really
about
looking forward to
CSIcon?
CSICon and the Australian Skeptics Conference and the New Zealand Skeptics. And you guys, I'm telling you, just
Are
be
you coming out
involved.
early, Susan?
Hmm?
To CSIcon? Are
When
you
you getting
coming out
there?
early?
Oh, I get there Tuesday.
Tuesday. All right.
You guys
Okay.
are there Sunday.
Yeah, we get in
And
Sunday.
so Mark and I come in, we fly in at 12:40, I think, on Tuesday. A lot of other people are coming Wednesday. Rob Palmer goes, I'm getting there early. I'm like, you're getting there Wednesday afternoon late.
That's not early.
Yeah, that ain't
The
early.
day before the
Late.
conference, I said, we're not here for the conference. We're here for the hanging out with people.
Right. Right.
I don't want to. And besides, if you're coming from the East Coast, you got to come over and get used to the time change.
Yeah.
Dude, and I'll be watching my Phillies. They'll be playing.
Oh, that's right. Is that
Yeah.
sports?
I'll be
Yes, it
hanging out
is.
with you guys.
Philadelphia
Sport
Phillies.
stuff.
I'll
I've
be
heard of
involved.
that. I heard people do
Sports.
that.
She makes me watch it every night.
I don't make you do
You
anything.
do. It's on the big screen.
That's because you told me it's better that I watch it on the big
Hey,
screen.
Because it's true. Everything's bigger on the big screen.
Yes, it is sports, Bob. I'll be at the bar watching my Phillies at night.
I don't know.
Conference is
anything.
usually over.
I used to like baseball. I still know that.
It is baseball, Susan.
Oh,
It is baseball.
Oh, is that the season right now?
The
I thought we were in
Philadelphia,
football.
yes, they're in the playoffs right
Are
now.
we in football?
We're baseball and football right now.
I have
It's
a friend
overlap.
that's really into
Red
football.
October.
I think she's watching that right now.
No.
No.
I
I'm
know.
okay.
I know. You guys are the opposite. I know. It's okay.
Okay.
I don't think I could move to one of those towns that does sports stuff.
No.
And that's
Oh,
like
well,
what people talk
we
about.
live in the wrong town for that.
we live in the
Yeah, I hear
wrong-
Buffalo is really bad.
They are
totally wrong town for that.
a people loving town though. They're not like Philly.
Yeah.
They're totally
nicer.
I
opposite
wouldn't,
from
fit
Philly.
in, I wouldn't fit in really well. I would be like,
No, Philly, you're a Philly fan. You're a Philly fan. You
All
would
right,
be. You
we're
would be
wrapping
a
this
good
up.
Philly fan.
Wrapping up.
we've
All right.
lost Kenny. He's done.
You
Kenny, you
changing
better
the
get
sport.
your
I'm
energy.
done.
I'm not gonna be able to dance as much as you do at the thing.
Well, that's true.
thinking, But
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm bringing a whole bunch of fun
larger
people
than I
with
used to
me,
be.
and I'm looking forward to meeting more fun people. And you guys come and talk to me. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
I'm really not as scary as I seem.
Well. Yeah.
Aw.
No, I'm kidding.
Susan,
I-
No,
you're
no, I
you're a
am. I am
sweetheart.
quite scary.
You're a sweetheart.
No, I'm not.
CSIcon's
I'm
going to be
actually-
great. I can't wait.
I'm not.
I mean, I same way. And my only disclaimer is that I run around a lot. So if you see me and you say, "Hey, Kenny," and I'll say, "Hey, what's up?" If I keep running, don't take it personally. It's
You're on a
usually
mission.
because I've been given a task.
Come on, Bob. Where's Bob live?
Bob lives in
Bob's
the Philly
PA.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why isn't he coming to CSICon?
I don't know,
Because
Bob.
Bob has 10 kids.
Damn it, Bob.
He can't afford it.
He's got.
I started taking my youngest son started attending these conferences at the age of 14, and he has gone to every single one of them, and he's in his 30s now. So
Bob can't get off of
Bob,
work.
just
Tell your boss to call me.
He's
summer work.
a teacher. He's a teacher. This should be
Yeah,
part
he's a
of your
teacher.
job, Bob.
Yeah, this should be.
Bring some students with you.
This should be
Oh,
like
there.
like
Bring
like
students
training.
with you.
Yeah, it should be training.
Yeah, there's no excuse. This is
No
just.
excuse.
I don't want to hear an excuse.
Oh,
Yeah, I know, Bob. Well, just come on,
I
Philadelphia.
know,
Yeah,
Great.
Bob.
do it. All right, I'm cutting us off. I want to go home.
he's got to go. pee-pee.
Yeah. It was so great to talk to you.
We all the way home.
Always fun. I know.
Oh, I
muting
miss
your
you
mic
guys.
again.
I can't wait to see you. This will be so much fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I get in around 1-ish. Mark and I.
Okay.
So let's go hang out. You guys
Okay.
keep your agenda free because Carl with a K is going to be there too around the same time. So Carl with a K, Mark Edward, and I, and you guys, I think are the only ones that are going to be there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So get it out of your system Sunday and Monday, all right?
Okay. We'll get it all out. We'll be done. That'll
Bob
be good.
says he's
God, is it
come
only
next
going to be
year.
45? Wow.
Yeah, Bob's a baby.
Jeez,
Baby.
children.
You're the baby with a mustache. All right. Thank you, Susan.
Bring your kids and your students, Bob. All
I
right.
do have one announcement that I'm going to make is that there
So
will
do I hang
not
up
be-
now or what do I do?
You stay here. You stay until
Can I make
after-
faces at you?
you can.
Sure.
That's
Will
okay.
they see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not going to cut you out. You're going to stay on there. I'm going to talk. But just say that
It might be boring.
there will not be a show for the next 2 weeks
Right.
Because you're going to be at Icon.
because let's see. Today's the 13th. The
Right.
20th, we're not going to be in town.
In town, right.
We have to make some travels before we leave for Vegas. So no show next week. And then the following week we'll be in Vegas at CSICon during the conference. Hopefully I'll be able to do some live videos or just post videos from the conference. That's what I plan on doing.
That would be fun.
Just talking to random people. I'll stop. They might be a speaker. They might be just a guest. I don't know. I'm just going to go around and just start posting videos. So hopefully that's your fix for the Skeptical Help Bar during the next 2 weeks. And then we'll return on...
And celebrate Donna's birthday.
Actually, there won't be a show for 3 weeks.
Why not? Kenny?
Because the following Friday, we leave for another
Parunity,
conference
That's right.
in
Parunity.
Jersey. So we're going to be in Jersey. So 3 weeks.
Crap. You guys have vacation.
Yeah. So don't forget us for 3
And,
weeks.
yeah.
I'll be
And-
hanging out with you. I won't even notice.
Yeah, you're going to be hanging out with us.
We're gonna
Mhm.
have to put up something.
We'll
Maybe
put
we can
stuff
do a
up.
show the night before or something.
Yeah. Maybe we can do when we get down to the Parunity conference, we can do a show
Something
from
there.
there.
Yeah, because we're
We'll
going
see.
early.
I'll let you guys know. Don't worry about it. All right. So that's it. That's our show. Susan, thank you for hanging out.
Thanks for
Stay.
having me.
Don't leave. Everyone else,
Leave?
thanks for hanging out
Yeah,
on your
we had a
Friday
good
night.
night.
Thanks, everybody. You
Appreciate
guys make it special. I love coming and hanging out with you guys. I feel like
Thanks,
we're good
Susan.
friends.
Yeah, it's nice to just chill.
I'll be seeing some of them. It'll be at CSICon.
Yeah. For everyone else, have a great weekend. Be safe. And remember, never stop learning. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
In a month.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.